What happened yesterday morning?
Okay, yesterday morning, we got up, we prepped JoJo for school. I took JoJo to school. I came back. When I came back, my wife was very angry at Ashley because she peed on her diaper and she pooped on her diaper. I know this doesn't sound like a big deal, but she's 5 years old and she's not potty trained, like, ever, and I'll explain that a little later. But, so that got my wife angry and, you know, said a few things like, you know, you're this old, you know, you're 5 years old, you still don't know how to go potty and poopy. And, well, my wife was in the room and she was outside in the living room. And after she pooped and potty in a diaper, you know, my wife knows that she has issues with potty training, so she was going, fine, but then she took off her diaper again. So that got my wife angry. And, so, you know, when you're 5 years old, you know, you still don't know how to poop and potty. And my wife got angry and hit her head on the carpet, you know, 2 times. And initially she was breathing. She was still breathing then. And
Did you watch? Did you see your wife do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was home at that time.
What time was it about?
Usually after I drop off at 9-ish. I can't say approximately because I don't look at the time. Oh, you know, my wife is banging Ashley said on the carpet. It was 9:15. 9-ish, 9:15, I guess.
Okay. And so, right then she wasn't breathing?
No, she was breathing. She was breathing, and you know, I was like, okay, so she's still breathing. She's okay.
Was there any blood or anything?
No, there's no blood.
Was she walking? I mean,
no, she wasn't walking. She was breathing, but she was lying down, and I thought she was going to come out of it in a little bit, you know. So she stopped, but I didn't realize she stopped. I thought she was breathing normally now because she was gasping, like it was. I can't really remember or recall exactly what, but it was a lot heavier than normal. So it sounded like a snore almost.
Okay.
So at that point she stopped. I thought, okay, so she's breathing normally now. So didn't really pay attention to it. And then a little later, I went to, you know, hold her and just didn't feel right. And I checked her heart and stopped beating. So I started panicking and I tried to do CPR on her, you know, try to breathe in her mouth and give her chest compressions. I don't exactly know how long I did that for. I know I did it for a pretty darn long time, maybe 15 minutes to a half an hour or something like that. And that's when we realized she's gone. Like I tried, and you know, I told my wife so kind of, you know, maybe if I just realized it sooner, that, you know, when she stopped breathing, that snore sound, her heart stopped bleeding. I mean, her heart stopped breathing at that. Her heart stopped beating at that time. Maybe I could have started compression then. That would have saved her or something. I don't know. I know that I didn't start directly right after because I thought she was breathing normally then.
When she was on the floor, you thought she was breathing?
Yeah. When she wasn't doing that snoring sound anymore, I thought she was breathing normally. I thought she was going to come out of it in like in a little bit.
How long did she lay on the floor after?
After hitting the carpet?
Yeah.
2-3 minutes. Making that sound. No, it was much longer than that. We actually took her to the bathroom because she was vomiting. We took her to the bathroom and she vomited. So we vomited in the toilet, and then she got vomit all over. So we took her and rinsed her off in the bath, take her out. So she must have been breathing like that for about a good 5 minutes at least.
Okay.
At least. Because she was like, this green stuff came out. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like greenish, like light greenish tint.
Out of her vomit?
Yeah. and then she got it all over herself. So we rinsed her off, took her to the living room to dress her, and she was still breathing like that for a while. So overall, probably 5.
Were her eyes open? Or was she responding?
Yeah, she was like you know. Overall, after she hit the carpet, she was probably breathing for another 5 to 10 minutes. You know, considering that, you know, took her to the bathroom, had vomit on her, rinsed her off, then put clothes on her, and then let her sit there for a while, and then I noticed that she started, you know, she was breathing irregularly again. So when I thought she was breathing regularly, and then checked her, and then I realized that her heart had stopped. Then that's when I started doing compressions. I did for a while, and then we started panicking. We didn't know what to do. First thing that came to my mind was, I'm gonna lose JoJo, and my family's gonna fall apart.
Who's JoJo?
My older daughter.
Your oldest daughter.
Yeah.
Did
JoJo's in school.
you or your wife tell each other to call 911?
I told her to go pick up JoJo, and I was going to stay here and call 911.
Why would you pick JoJo up?
Huh?
Why would you pick JoJo up?
I was going to tell her to go pick JoJo up, and I was going to call 911.
Why? School wasn't over. That's what I'm, right? It wasn't early, right?
No.
Well, this is 9:15 in the morning?
Yeah.
Okay. Does she not go full?
No, she goes full day. I was going to tell my wife to go pick her up, so I was going to call 911 and tell her that, you know, it was an accident, so my wife wouldn't be there.
So what happened?
You know, we talked about it, and
Talked about what?
she said that, you know, we're both afraid. We're both afraid of what's going to happen if we call.
Okay.
I wanted to set her away so that, you know, I'll be there. If someone gets in trouble, it'll be me, and she'll be okay. And I kind of wish it didn't happen this way. Now both of us are in really big trouble. But yeah, I wanted to send her away and, you know, call the police. But then, you know, both of us were afraid of what was going to happen. If we did, we were afraid that we're going to lose our daughter, we're going to lose our family, the restaurant, the house that we're getting, everything in our lives that's, you know, that we worked so hard for the past 6 years. This was going to be gone.
Okay.
So that fear led us to, you know, like, it's an accident, so.
Okay, so what happened? I mean, she's laying there, she's not breathing. Well, what happened then?
We couldn't decide what to do, and, you know, after a while, we decided, both of us, I don't know exactly who came up with what, but, you know, we should bring her to the restaurant so JoJo can see her. So JoJo, when you guys ask her, you know, like, I was thinking maybe that wasn't a good idea, but I wasn't thinking clearly at the time. So, you know, bring her to the restaurant so JoJo can see her, so that when we call, JoJo can say, oh, she was here at the restaurant and she left the back door at the restaurant instead of, you know, at the house. She accidentally got killed. So,
Where were you gonna put her at the restaurant so JoJo could see her?
You know, at the room that she was normally in, she sleeps in there. So, JoJo will see that she's sleeping there and can verify it. And, you know, she's sick, so, and even if you ask her to take a polygraph, I don't know if you ask a 6-year-old to take a polygraph, but a 6-year-old wouldn't lie like that. And so we didn't want JoJo to lie, so we want JoJo to see Ashley there.
Okay. So you take Ashley to the restaurant. How do you get Ashley from the apartment to the restaurant?
Put her in a car seat.
Did you carry her out to the car?
Did she have her jacket on?
Yes.
Okay. What color is your car?
It's a rental car. It's like black or dark gray.
Okay. So you drove that
Yes.
to the store. Was there a gentleman looking on the roof?
Yes.
Your daughter, did you carry her in?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They saw me.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, there was two guys on the roof,
Mm-hmm.
working on the roof or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we brought her inside, and we just laid her there, and we just continued our work. The plan was for Jojo to come home and see her there to verify that she's there, and then I would hide her up in on top of the walk-in freezer. And then when we called the police at night, Jojo could verify that she was there. So,
Did you guys also make some noise when we're going out the back door? Because JoJo said she thought she heard a noise and her sister might have went out the back door.
no. That Jojo, she's not a liar, but she's 6. And when you lean her towards something, that's where she goes. And she's not a liar. She doesn't lie to people,
Yeah.
but she is 6. When you point her at a direction, that's where she's gonna go.
Well, where was JoJo? Okay, so how long did you leave Ashley laying in the bed?
I got the restaurant at 10 till about 7, 6 or 7.
Okay.
6 or 7. She was lying there. Jojo saw her, and she's sick. She can't tell the difference between someone that's no longer breathing and someone sleeping.
And what happened?
And then I moved her up, to the walk-in freezer. Put her in that plastic container so that she wouldn't stink.
What kind of container was it?
That was plastic, like those busting containers for like restaurants. And that's when we were gonna call the police, and we were hoping that the police would come here, look, and said, oh, we didn't expect this. We didn't know the procedure exactly what's going on. We didn't know that I was gonna come down here, take a polygraph. I was gonna be asked so much questions. There was gonna be so many people involved. If we knew that there was gonna be like 100 people searching for, maybe even more. I don't even know. I am so sorry.
What were your plans to do after maybe we quit looking for her? What were you gonna do?
We don't really know. There was 3 things: if I burn it, bury it, or throw it in the ocean. Those are the only 3 things that we can think of. And we know that. I think that's probably one of the reasons. Other than the fact that there's so many reasons why I told Randy what I told Randy. But one of the reasons is Randy mentioned it, and I know, without him telling me, I know is if let's say that I went through with this and I didn't get caught, I'm going to be looking over my shoulder for I don't even know how long. It's because there's a dead body there, that I have to eventually get rid of. And if you put it in the ocean, the tides can wash it back. If you bury it, wild animals can get at it, someone can find it. If you burn it, there's a chance that someone's going to see you because it's going to be a big flame. You're not going to do it during the day, and you're going to be doing it during the night. So when you're burning a big flame at night, someone's going to see you. We thought about all of this, and honestly, we weren't really too sure on what to do after that.
You came back to this morning.
Yeah.
To light candles at a little.
Incense, yes.
What was that for?
That appearance was for you guys to hope that Ashley would get found, but really I was praying that this would get resolved so that we would keep our family together. I was praying constantly, my wife was praying that this would be resolved and our family can stay together.
Was everybody at the store when you put her in the salt then?
You mean everybody, like myself, my wife, and my
Your
daughter?
wife
Yes.
and your daughter?
Yes, yes.
Where was your daughter at?
My wife took my daughter to the front, and because she's teething, so she told me to go to the front, she was going to do her teeth. Her first tooth was about to come out. And that's when I, moved Ashley up there.
Did you and your wife both agree on putting her there in that container?
We talked about places, and I say this is probably the best place to do it. It's well ventilated, with salt in it. You're not going to be worried about temperature because it's cooler up there.
And it's up above where the panels are, right?
Yes.
Did you take the panel off?
That was already off. We keep stuff up there. There's like our wedding pictures, everything.
Okay.
Yeah. We keep a lot of stuff up there. It's like extra storage.
So it's extra storage. So then, how'd you get up her ladder?
Yeah.
The ladder, you carried her up?
Yes.
And put her body up there?
Yes.
Okay. Then what'd you guys do, close the business for the night?
No, we called.
You called
the police.
Jackson?
Yes.
But you did this, what time did you say you put her in there? You thought?
6 something to 7, like 6:30 to 7.
And then you called us like at 8:15, or 9:15, I mean.
Yeah. So whatever is the time that's recorded.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you the rest?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, this is being recorded, right?
Yes.
Okay. My wife, she's not a bad person. She's not. I married her. I wouldn't marry her if she was physically abusive in the beginning. You can see my daughter, my Jojo, she's 6 years old. We took care of both of us for 6 years. Not one time did my wife physically abuse her, out of anger or anything like that. We spanked her,
Right.
Yeah.
Correct her.
Yeah.
She did something wrong.
Yeah, but nothing like, left bruises on her, all over the place that you found on Ashley. My wife is a good person. I know it's very hard to believe, seeing Ashley, but look at JoJo. Look at JoJo, she's a good person. She's a good mother. She just has problems. She has problems with Ashley because we got her when she was born. We didn't raise her. My mom raised her.
Okay.
For 4 years, and then we got her back into the bush, so she's 5. I only saw my daughter for a year. She's 5, so only 1/5 of her life, more or less. I saw her once when she was like 1.5 for about a month or 2. But both of us, we know my wife had this problem. In the beginning, when she started reacting like this, actually, not initially, not when she first came down, she was fine. I'll explain that too. But when she first started being like this to Ashley, I try to step in and stop it.
When did this start?
When my mom started telling my wife that she was doing it wrong. She was raising Ashley wrong.
Okay, how long ago was that?
About 1 month after Ashley came here, my mom came here to visit. We told her to stay away because my mom knows that my wife had issues with her, and it needs some time with Ashley to adjust. And we talk about this constantly, and that's why it's very fresh in my mind. But that's when it started, and when it started, it was not that big of a deal. But then my mom constantly, every which way. I know I sound like I'm placing blame, but I'm just telling you what happened.
Okay.
I know I sound like I'm placing blame for my wife's condition, but I'm just telling you what happened. That's at that one time. She came down, she visited, my wife let that go. That's fine. She was a little angered by that. She was a little pissed off about it. But then my wife would tell my aunt and my grandmother stuff like that. And it would just go on forever. It was up to a point where we had to tell my mom, stop calling us. Don't send people here anymore. Tell grandma stop coming here. Because we've been here for 6 years. First couple of years, my grandma almost never comes. Nobody comes visit us. My mom never calls me, ever. Like, you can check my phone records. Pick up as much phone records as you like. I don't talk a lot with my mom. But then, when Ashley got here, constantly calling, you're doing this wrong, stuff like that, yada, yada, yada. So, that kind of got to my wife. Because, it's your own daughter, and then there's your mother-in-law telling you that you're not doing it right. You're not doing it what you're supposed to do. That's one thing. And another thing is that you look at your own daughter, and you got her, she's 4, she's not potty trained. She doesn't know her last name. She doesn't know if she's a boy or a girl. I know you can't verify that, but if you want, I can tell you, you can put me back on the machine, and I can tell you that I'm telling you the truth when I'm telling you these things. You can put me back on the machine, I can tell you that when I'm telling you these things, that she's not potty trained, she doesn't know her last name, and she doesn't know if she was a boy or a girl when we got her when she was 4. And the list goes on and on with these things. And she knows she's a boy or girl now because we taught her, and we taught her her last name. But initially when we got her, she didn't. And that combined with the fact that my mom keeps telling my wife, she's doing it wrong. And then we see how Ashley was actually raised. The combination of the two just made my wife really angry, and the more my wife see Ashley being that way, not be able to potty train, it just get her angry, and I tell my wife, just stop, just let it be. And with both myself and my wife, we knew that something like this would happen eventually if Ashley wasn't sent away, but we couldn't send her with my mom because my mom will raise her like this again. So the plan was to send her to my wife's mom in China eventually. I was just hoping that, it wouldn't come to this before we sent her away. And it would give my wife some time to balance out.
Well, why did you give her to your mom anyway?
She was my mom.
No, I mean, why didn't you raise Ashley yourself?
I was running a restaurant. Couldn't really take care of everything, so I could trust my mom, to raise my daughter.
Right.
And initially I told her to come down. I told her to bring Ashley down so that I could see her grow up, and I could develop a relationship with her, but my mom refused. For so long, she kept telling her, kept calling her, and she gave it a try when Ashley was about 1.5. That's when I saw her 1.5, and then she said she could live with me. So that's when she took Ashley away, and that's when I saw her again at 4.
How long has she been down there? Since she was 4?
5 years. She's 5 now. She just turned 5.
So
Not long ago.
When did the abuse start with your wife and Ashley?
About a little bit after a month after she arrived. In the beginning, it was not that bad. It was like discipline, trying to correct her, like you got a potty, the toilet, stuff like that, minor stuff. And the thing with Ashley was that she still doesn't know to potty in the bathroom. So that really gets my wife going because we have her for a year now. She still can't. She's still not potty trained.
So that was one of the things that really irritated your wife.
Yes, I mean, and then she was like everything that irritated my wife let go one after another. Okay, so she'd be potting on that, fine, let her go. A couple of months, she's gonna be with my mom. I'll just buy diapers, take care of it, and hopefully she'll get away from me. She'll get a fresh start from my mom. Speak against my wife. And, my mom would take care of her. not my mom, my wife's mom. You know, my wife's mom would take care of her, and they'll have a fresh start, both of them. And my wife would have a fresh start. It's like, okay, just let that go. But then, you know, after she poops and potty on her diaper, she takes her diaper off. And that's what triggered that yesterday.
Well, okay, so when we were at your house yesterday, we asked, where do you sleep? Did Ashley sleep in the living room, or did she actually sleep in the other bedroom?
She sleeps in the living room because my wife, before it was different. Before it was we had the 2 rooms. The kids used to sleep in the big room, and we used to sleep in the little room. And we used to keep the junk in the living room.
Okay, and then the trunk was a rental car?
Yeah.
There was a big fuzzy bear?
Yeah.
Was there a reason for that to be in the trunk? There was one at home.
Oh, no, there's no reason. No, there's no psychological reason. It was just that we bought one for the kids, and it was on sale at Sam's Club. It was initially like $14.88, and it was on sale for $4.71, so we just bought an extra one. Like, this could make a good gift, you know. It's cheap. No, there's no reason for that.
I didn't know if they took it away from the house, but it wasn't. You know, I just didn't know why.
No, it was no psychological reasons. Like, okay, Ashley's bear needs to stay in the trunk, and JoJo's bear needs to stay, nothing like that. Yeah.
So let's back up. After Jackson came out to the restaurant last night and you filed a report, what did you guys talk about after the police left?
We were worried. I mean, same thing. I mean, I told you earlier. You know, constantly looking over our shoulder. You know, like, and just, you know, this thing on your chest, and just you wanna not worry about that stuff. You know, just, you know, we were kind of like worried constantly. Okay, are they gonna find her?
You want to be able to tell somebody what happened, so you don't have that burden. Right?
Yeah, and we just constantly worried, are they gonna find her? You know, it's like, now what to do to find her? And I told my wife, they find her, I told her everything.
What did your wife say about that?
Because my wife asked me what to do, and my wife, you know, I mean, she knows what we do. I mean, obviously we can't deny it. You know, that's just stupid. So, but...
Your wife told something to the other FBI agent, something about some black men coming into the...
Yeah, that she was trying to... That's true. That's true. The restaurant, or is it the apartment?
The restaurant.
That's true. It's all true. That's not a lie, but it's unrelated. It's unrelated. It's true, though. There was at a point, there's these 2 black guys who came to the restaurant twice, on 2 occasions, very separate apart, like a couple of months apart. And the only reason I remember them because they asked very unusual questions. We didn't think they were going to take our baby. We think they're going to rob us, like after a busy hour before we close. Because they asked us, how long are you busy for? When do you stop being busy? What time do you close? And they asked the same questions the second time. And I think they changed their target because they probably thought, you know, we don't have much money here, it's not worth robbing. But that's the impression that I got. I was worried because they did that twice in like a span of a couple of months. You know, they came inside and asked me, you know. And it was always like late at night when there's like no one around.
Getting back to the last night, you guys actually cooked and served meals while your daughter was laying there.
Yes.
And went on business as usual.
Yes.
And that was to keep JoJo from thinking anything bad was going on.
Yes.
Okay. That way, when she talked to us, she wouldn't lie to us about what she saw, or at least how she perceived it.
Yes. Is there anything else you would like to ask? And I'll answer everything.
Why didn't you ever report the abuse to law enforcement?
I was worried. You know, scared that this guy's going to take my wife away.
Well, how bad? I mean, what kind of abuse are we talking?
It's not like initially so bad. If it was initially so bad, I would probably report it, but just, you know, it worked.
Escalated?
Yeah, and then at that point I was like, she got so much bruises on her, I can't call it in anymore.
What would she twist her arm? Would she kick her? Would she hit her? What happened?
Pretty much all of it, twist her arm, kick her, hit her.
But never touch JoJo?
No, not once. And not like, she just sees her and just pisses her off, push her down the stairs or something. It's always when Ashley does something, and that's her trigger, My mom tells my wife that she's raising kids wrong, and then every single time Ashley does something that reminds my wife of what my mom said, like, her doing something not a 5-year-old should do, that's pretty much a trigger. It's like, Ashley would, it's weird, she would go like this. I'll show you. I don't have any weapons. And we try to get her to stand like normal, but before she would stand like this. I don't know why. I don't know where you get, I don't know I don't know how Ashley did that, but my mom never corrected her that this is not how a person should stand. She would stand like this, on one feet, another one would heel up, and hands like this. We told her to put both feet down, both hands down. And she would just do that. Pretty much, we correct her, she would do it, correct her, and do it. She would do it. A lot of things. There's a lot of things that we felt that my mom had her for 4 years, that she should correct these things, because they're not normal. So, every single time when Ashley do something like that, it would trigger my wife, because my wife would be reminded of what my mom said. I didn't report the abuse because I was afraid, the same thing that I'm afraid of now, that I was going to
split the family up.
Yes, I'm sorry. And we know this for a long time, that it was getting really bad, and we were going to send Ashley back to China with her mom, my wife's mom, and she would take care of her and give my wife some time to balance things out, that she wouldn't feel this inside of her head, inside of her heart. And, we were thinking maybe 2 years it would take, how long my wife needs, that's when we bring Ashley back. Whatever time my wife needs to make her not feel this way inside her head, inside her heart, that's this anger towards my mom that she's projecting onto Ashley, pretty much, whatever time she would need. But then, we wanted to send her right away. My wife would call her mom and says, screaming, she can't take this anymore. But her mom is taking care of her brother's kids, my wife's brother's kids. And we were going to wait because her brother was going to send her kids back to the United States, because they're born here and they're old enough to go to school now. He's working, he doesn't have time to take care of his kids, so he sends them back to China. But mom takes care of his. She's going to send them here, and the arrangement was going to be, not between, it was understood that when he comes back, she would go. So, but that wasn't going to happen until a little later. I was trying to pull it down, and I didn't expect this to happen. A couple of times she hit her head before on the carpet like that, and she comes out of it. This is the only time. Obviously, this is the first time, the last time that she didn't.
How many times would you say she's done that to her?
4 maybe.
Does she ever have a doctor's visit? Did they ever,
No,
she was not bruised?
Yeah, we didn't take her to the doctor. We were afraid because the doctor would see that. Would see that, she's bruised all over her body.
So she had that many bruises on her?
Yes.
So this, it was a daily thing then?
Not daily. A couple of times a week. Not every single day. Because believe it or not, my wife does try to control herself. She did it with it daily. But there was periods where she tried to control herself a lot, and it would be like weeks before, there will be periods, weeks, literally weeks.
Did you ever tell her she needs to knock it off?
I tried that.
She needs to stop?
I tried that, and she knows. she knows she needs to stop, and I tried, but in the beginning, it seems like the more I try, it depends on the situation. Like if she's at that time where she's feeling that anger, and I tell her to stop, she gets even more angry.
So, this time, yesterday morning, this last time when she did it, what did your wife do after she
hit her head on
the floor?
So she usually leaves, and then I go take care of her. But then, as I mentioned,
Did she leave this time?
Not like leave the apartment, but leave the living room.
Left the room. What would she go do?
I don't know. I can't see. I was trying to take her to Ashley. She probably went into the bedroom or the bathroom. But then I started noticing that she was throwing up the screen stuff. So both of us took Ashley to the bathroom, took care of her.
Did she say anything when she started throwing up?
No, not that I recall.
Never made any comments while you guys were cleaning her up and getting her dressed?
I'm going to try to remember. I'm going to try to be honest as I can, but right now I can't remember. Okay? So I'm trying to be honest as I can with you guys.
No,
right
I appreciate it.
Comments while she was going to the bathroom. I know she said something, but usually I don't listen to that kind of stuff. So I kind of tune it out for me to remember that.
Is it kind of negative? Is that what I mean?
Yes.
Negative towards Ashley?
I have no idea at the point because usually at that point I just tune out. So it could have been negative, it could have been neutral, but it's definitely not positive.
Sure you don't need something to drink?
No, I don't want to stop. I just want to finish.
Do you have anything else you want to add?
I don't know. I mean, if you need more, definitely, come ask me. I'll tell you whatever you need to know.
Well, I think we covered everything.
Okay, if you think you missed something, feel free to, get in touch with me. I'll tell you whatever you need to know. Is it okay for me to ask a couple of questions, or you guys would be able to answer it? It's pretty much the same questions I tried to ask before. Would you be able to answer that? No? Oh, okay.
Go ahead. I don't know what, I can't read your mind. I don't know what you're asking.
It's pretty much about the future. I know you can't tell the future, but being in law enforcement, I was hoping that maybe you can answer some of these questions for me.
We can try.
Okay. Do you know what's going to happen to my wife? I mean, I understand she's going to get locked up, but is it like a regular jail, or she's going to get institutionalized?
Well, it'll be regular jail right now.
She'll just go to the regular jail.
That has to go through court and everything.
I think she needs some help. I think she needs some help.
Well, that'll be between her and her attorney and and the judges. That's not for us to decide.
Yeah. And do you guys know how long I'm going to get locked up for? Approximately.
I don't know.
3 years? 3 years?
I don't know.
Are we talking like decades or years?
I can't be honest with you. I'm not sure. We need to talk to our prosecutor, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Okay. So what we're going to do?
Do I have a choice on how JoJo is raised? I can have her in foster care instead of being raised by my parents.
You don't want your family to come get her?
No, I don't want her to be raised by my parents.
Do you have any family no family at all you want?
Close, but I don't want them. I'm not close to my family.
Well, they'll probably go to see Child Protective Services right now. And that'll all be worked out later, and they will talk to you,
There's 2 people that possibly, but they don't know her. They saw her maybe like 2 times since she was born.
Are they relatives?
My sisters. They're okay people, but I still don't trust them. One of them I do, just that my mom is going to get so much access to her. I don't want that.
Well, then, I mean, and I'm sure CPS will talk to you about it, because,
Because I don't want JoJo. I mean, I know she's sick now. She's going to be probably not going to get affected by my mom like that, but still, I don't want my mom.
Do you have any intentions of hurting yourself?
But yeah. You know, I mean, I thought about it earlier. It's like, if I can't say anything, you know, but I already told everything to him. So, I mean, I wanted to say it.
Don't you feel, I mean, you kind of
I
feel
feel
better,
better,
don't you?
but I was thinking the same thing. Like, if I just not be able to talk, I wouldn't feel that anymore either.
So you're not thinking about hurting yourself right now?
Not at the moment. Not at the moment, I swear.
Okay. And when you say not at the moment,
But kind of,
it leads me to believe that you may later.
I don't know. I have to sort things out in my head.
Okay. All right. Stand up on, make sure you don't have any weapons or anything on you.
I patted him down and got a pocket knife earlier, but
You got a bunch of pockets going on here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sunglasses.
Sunglasses.
Beside there's keys, close. And here there's keys. Oh, and my wallet and stuff like that. I took it out when I was talking to Randy.
So the only two people that know about what happened is you and your wife?
Huh?
The only two people that know what happened
Yes.
is you and your wife? You didn't call anybody?
No. My wife asked if we should call somebody about it too, and we don't want to get anybody involved.
Call somebody as in what? To get rid of her?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, would you know somebody to call to do that?
No. And even if we did, it would have been up in the same situation, more or less.
Back 1 second.
So, I do get to choose how Jojo's going to be raised.
I would think that Children's Services is going to contact you, I would think. I mean, they don't want to keep families apart, but if there's a reason for your...
I don't want my mom to have contact with my daughter.
Okay.
Not that she's a bad person, it's just what happened with Ashley.
Yeah.
I'm very afraid that she's going to raise Jojo the same way.
What's your wife's name again?
Mimi. M-I-N-G, M-I-N-G. I know I might have asked you this already, but am I going to be able to see my daughter and my wife before
No.
I go to jail?
I'm sorry, because she's probably going to be both your wife is, and we can't bring your daughter here. It wouldn't be fair to her to see you like this.
That's why I told her I want to see them before I tell them everything. you know what's happening to my wife right now?
No, I haven't heard from him.
County jail, or am I going to be allowed to take care of my personal stuff? As I mentioned, you can send someone to watch me if you want to make sure that I don't kill myself or something. But am I going to be allowed to take care of my personal stuff?
No, actually, your both personal places are crime scene right now. Because the killing her in the apartment and taking her then to, they're both a crime scene, so you wouldn't be allowed in them anyway.
Alright, we're gonna switch rooms. Walk over here.
I need to take that chair out.
No, I'll get it later, just shut that light out.